day, it's Madison with Restorative. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time today. So, last week's video was so intense for me. I'm really grateful to myself for posting that, right? Like sometimes we need to see what we feel like looks like. I strongly encourage anybody who's ever grown through something or has still growing through something to see yourself talk about it. Even if you're the only one that watches it. And know that that's okay too. Talk about it, to your camera if you can, perhaps. Watch it back, delete it, and pretend like it never happened. But also see how you truly react to things. Right? Like, see your truth about it. So I wanted to share that. And then I wanted to touch base, and then again, it's important for me to acknowledge the way that I feel in those moments. So I wanted to just say that, and then as well, so many times, so many people feel like, oh, look at that, the sun's kind of, I like it. I love the sunshine, so, okay, so, I'm a little bit blinded by the light, though. That's all right. This is where we are. Okay, and so, focus. My main reason for wanting to share that video, besides it's my truth, is because so many times, so many of us, well, first of all, yeah, I'm everywhere. It's fine. I'm really excited right now. I'm trying to keep my life together. My life, my mood, my energy. It's okay. The reason why I think it's important for you guys to see how I feel, my truth and the way those emotions feel towards me, is because so many people had or feel like it's not okay to have vulnerable, weak, real moments and feelings. That's so important to know that's okay. I have clients that have children and they say that they never let their kids see them this way or that way, or they don't have, or their parents didn't allow those emotions when they were growing up, right? Like if you were my age in the group above us, like, woohoo! Man, they were beating themselves hard with all the wet noodles. Should be whatever we feel we have to be, or the strength, or to not be seen as weak, vulnerable, or real, or true to emotions. So don't, try not to live in those emotions, but when they come up and they're real and they're feeling them, feel free to feel those emotions and to express them and to grow through them the best you can. Never judge anybody else's struggle. Even if you have walked a mile in your shoes, you don't know what pebble they're stepping on each step. Like, come on now. So I wanted to talk about that. Just the emotions and the rawness. My favorite thing about April 6th, if I had to find something, is I got almost a whole another year now before I have to have that day again. Specifically that day. Maybe not those emotions about that day, but that day specifically won't be here for another year. So that's nice. That's a good thing there. And then even about the video, because I did watch it a few times for sure, because I was like, wow, I posted that for the world. Hi. So the one thing that I wanted to discuss, probably many things, but the one thing that I really wanted to touch base on was when I talked about how I was grateful for the fact that I couldn't see like the person's face who was like, is somebody on their way to get you? Like, I was so grateful that I couldn't see their face, because I will never know who that was. And I'm okay with that, because like, that was just like a word phrase. I mean, this is a two-part, but I think there's a big lesson here if you can hang with me. So the person that said that to me, like, they don't know that destroys me on the regular. Like, they don't know that. Could you imagine even if I didn't know them, but I saw their face, it was like etched in my mind, like it was there, and then randomly or whatever in life, and I did see them, and I reacted in this like totally like where maybe every emotion, I mean, okay, right, like facing the person that caused you like so much grief, like the person that said that to me, I mean, I'm thinking it's a he because it felt like a voice, but I'm sure that they're not up all night for the last 5 years. Man, I wish I had to said that to that one girl that one day. No, the energy from whatever happened in my life that connects that person is not there. So I'm grateful that I'm not able to ever put a face to the name or face to the person that caused me all that grief, right? So that part I'm lucky for. Not that I'm like, oh, that bad person, because here's the thing, people don't, so hard to say, but it's so true. People don't care that they hurt you. Sorry. Some do, and I swear that they'll show you and prove to you in ways that you will undoubtedly know that they are sorry, that they either hurt your feelings or hurt you or did something. But for the most part, a lot of people just walk around doing what works for them, and they'll say things. I've seen people lie without even, I mean, and the most unbelievable, like, dumbest lies, where I'm just like, wow, like, they don't care because it's so easy to do, and the repercussions, like, are what? Well, there are repercussions, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm saying trust that you can grow and move through things. Know that the people that hurt your feelings, and then like let's put that in a little bit more of a box, right? So this person who was doing a job, right? Like, they see things all the time, or their reaction is like this way. So that's not something that they're thinking like is hurtful or is or can be taken in a way that just, crushes somebody or what have you. So, and I have a lot of examples of certain things like this happening post accident. One. I think I already shared a little bit about it, but it came to something about like, well, here's the point, like I was saying. They're not sitting there stewing about the things that they've said in life to everybody that either hurt feelings or didn't hurt feelings. So you have to make peace with so much on your own, and that's hard. That's hard. Now, if you have the opportunity and it is something that you can grow through with somebody or communicate with and be like something to where like, hey, that you said it this way, this is the way it made me feel. Like, if you have that space and availability to do that in your life, that's awesome, like totally. But if it's just something else that is not gonna be like, I'm never gonna see that person again probably. You know what I mean? Like, you have to realize that even though it affects you that way, it's not really affecting others in the same token. And maybe that'll help you, right? Like, sometimes people go through like, I don't know, breakups with, people that they're like romantically involved with, or friend breakups and stuff like that, right? Like, there has to be certain times where you like start, you know, cutting the emotional cords of what I sadly refer to as Pong. This type of behavior will remove me from so much so fast. You have no idea. You did this, so I'm gonna do this. This Pong game. Oh my gosh, I'll run. Anyway, so it's not like you did this, so I'm gonna do this, or, you know, like matching energy of the negativity or hurtful things, right? So like if you're engaged in something like that, that's really tricky, and I really advise you to not give what you get all the time. Have your own integral standards and world, because again, it won't look like what works for me doesn't work for everybody else. I can guarantee that. But what works for you doesn't always work for me, and we're all made so differently. So I feel like I want to bring this a little bit back, because I feel I could package this a little bit better. That's okay. Let me just bring it to where it's like, if there's something that somebody's done or said to you that affects you, but wasn't like a personal attack in that aspect, do your very best to release that energy, and to also know that like people aren't perfect ever, and that we say things and they affect others, and we're not always trying to be mean, but we don't know how it comes across. So it's wonderful at night or in the morning or anytime you can think of it. Sometimes I just do a nice little, especially if I feel like I had a little moment, I'm like, it's me again. Just want to say I'm so sorry for anything that I've ever done in any life ever to anyone. I'm so sorry. You know, just constantly seeking that loving balance and not looking for blame from others, but also noticing how you feel about things and really staying in tune with that alignment. And then I wanted to just share more hope, really, and just hope and perspective on things. And one of the hopes that I hope that you see in your life is, I think you'll be surprised if you looked at your whole life. Let's take it back. I recently watched again, because I really like this movie. It's Old Guard. It's got Charlize Theron in it. I like to try to say it right. Old Guard. I really enjoyed this. But then I got mad, but that's fine. I really enjoyed it because one thing that, I'm not going to ruin all the stuff, but one thing that I really appreciated was there happened to be a gentleman that had been kind of just taking a look at the Old Guard and what it meant. And he went and he made this like timeline of all the times that their particular efforts contributed or extended a new something to happen, right? Like it extended out like an olive branch of a new option. So say for instance, they had rescued somebody here, perhaps, and 5 generations later, from that one person comes somebody who changes the world, right? Like, okay, so that. So when I say something like that, look at your life and how your interactions, because could you imagine if we could see that? Positive or negative, right? So there would be like maybe the person that said that to me, Like there would be an olive branch showing how his words, or I'm gonna say his words, made me cry for like 5 years or whatever, right? So, but what does that make me, you know, or how does that change my whatever, right? Or what do I do with that? But on the same token, that same person has probably, possibly helped 50, 100 more people, okay? Or so like there's that balance is one thing. But where in your life, your olive branches of love, wisdom, intention, action, heart space, where does that, right? Where does that bleed into other people's lives and create and extend more? So continue to look for that and think of it that way. Like, wow, if I say this to them, I wish so many parents might have been. Well, I mean, can't really get into family dynamics. But anyways, look at that olive branch down or up or any way, in almost any conversation you can have. So I appreciated that so much, because so often when we're in it, right? When we're living our life, like we're like, what does it even matter? What are we even doing? Not what does it matter, but you know what I mean? Like, why? What is this about? I just stomped my foot. I can tell I've had a lot of thoughts about this. But with that, right? So like, it has to be bigger than us. I remember one time when I came back to Juneau and I was up with the doctor who treated me when I was 12 and I had cancer. And he was treating me after getting, you know, hit by a bus. He said, how do you even do this? Like, what drive? Like, what? Like, how do you keep going? And I just remember saying, it's just so much bigger than me. What we are trying to achieve, it's not really, no, don't focus on here now. Whoa. What we are really trying to achieve in life, in general, in this whole thing, right, is so much bigger than us. Bigger than me, it's bigger than you, but we're a part of it. So I really like that part, because to see, I mean, maybe that's one thing one day that we'll get to see about our life and how we impacted others or not, or ourselves too, please. Loving ourselves, I will say that to ever. Our number one job out here is to be someone we love too. I can't make it up. It's our job. Be someone we love too. Love ourselves. Love others. I did want to talk about that, because we're all doing such great stuff too. We really are. I see so much beauty and love out there, and I know that love wins. I also think that even though it's uncomfortable being real with yourself about your feelings and speaking your truth, or speaking your truth to others, or hearing other people's truth, right? It gets really tricky, but when you cut everything down to like the brass tacks of stuff, nothing's changed. Life, universe, God, all of it is supposed to be this loving space that we could create to take care of each other, help each other grow. We need to do so much more of that if we can, right? The thing that made me mad about the movie Old Guard, and this is something that's made me mad through the ages, I'm sure, is part of it, and I'm not going to ruin the movie because I think it's a really good one people should watch, but this is even biblical for me, and I'll talk about that too, because this Friday is, I believe, is the memorial time where it's like, I always get irritated. Here we go. Okay. That's not coming out right. So part of the thing about the old guard was that, you know, they've lived through eons, beginning of time. And as soon as a person who wanted to use their energy for their own benefit, you know, attacked right away to see if they were who they said they were and if they would really heal and if they would be, you know, and they attacked. And then they were like, oh yeah, you're, you know, so it's like all this stuff, like we always want proof, right? That's why like Easter is so tricky for me because actually, and even on the Bible, it says, remember me on this day, and that's Memorial, the day that Jesus died for us, right? But what we celebrate, what is widely celebrated is the proof that he ascended or rise. So similar to all these scenarios in life where some people ruin so much because of their own need for proof for their own perspective. And it causes so much pain, literally. So I want to say happy Easter and everything, and I love that. But when something amazing shows itself to you or becomes or those things, attacking it for proof or crucifying it to feel like because something's different you have to attack it or process it or whatever that is where they like scientifically like okay, so like maybe just accept that some things are so much bigger than us and embrace that, right? Because otherwise I couldn't even imagine, like, think about this, like what if Jesus came now? I almost think it would be just as bad because as many people want it so much for everything to be not this. There's still some people that would attack it and make it bad, and I just want to say, be someone you love too. Miracles happen. You don't have to attack or dissect things. Embrace, believe, be so in awe of possibilities that every day for you is magical. This is a weird little video and I love it. I hope you have a great week. Please be someone you love too. Take such good care of each other. Do not hurt each other. Give more love than you can even believe that you have to give, and watch it come right back. Bye.